Dance.
The Andaman and Nicobar Islands are located in Bay of Bengal. The Andaman Nicobar Islands are at a distance of 1190 kilometers from Chennai and 1250 kilometers from Calcutta and 1000 kilometers from New Delhi. The Jarawa are inhabiting in the western region and coastal belt of South and Middle Andaman Islands. At present, they are inhabited in the reserve forest area from Lakratunga to Chota Lingbang Bay, stretching longitudinally over a distance of about 25 kilometers. In the South Andaman, they are inhabiting from Tirur area up to Spike Island along the west coast. The original inhabitants of the Andaman Islands were a little known group of Negritos, whose origin are not fully understood. Carlton Cohn suggests that these Negrito population represent a subspecies of the original Australoid people that inhabited the land exposed during the last glaciation. This could place the habitation of the Andamans at over 20,000 BC. The end of the Pleistocene era marked the end of the last glaciation period. As a result of the rising sea levels, the people inhabiting the Andaman were cut off from the mainland. The archaeological evidences is also lacking to determine the prehistory of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. According to Rattle Brown, the word Jarawa or Jarawa is apparently derived from Akabia dialect of Great Andamanese, which means stranger or other people. The Jarawa was the first tribe which became friendly with the Britishers in 1790, just after the start of the first penal settlement in 1788 and 89. The Jarawa was then inhabiting the southern side of Andamans, present Port Blair. After the second penal settlement of 1858, the Jarawa enemy Great Andamanese became friendly with the Britishers. They did not like the idea that the new settlers should be friendly with their enemy groups. The situation gave rise to a regular feeling of hostility among the Jarawa to outsiders. Partiality shown by the administration to Great Andamanese tribe provoked the Jarawa, who became hostile. The Ariotis were even given firearms to slaughter the hostile Jarawa. They were given iron pieces and files to prepare arrows to be used against the Jarawa. The Jarawa got scared of the increasing strength of the Great Andamanese supported by the Britishers and migrated to the north. Besides, the forest which they had sheltered and sustained hunting and food gathering since time immemorial were destroyed. From wood they are coming, but with a good skin. The Jarawa, estimated to be around 250 to 300 individuals, are under continuous exploitation since 1856. The establishment of the penal settlement by the British in 1857 and followed by the establishment of the settlements for the convicts in 1947. The establishment of the refugee settlements from 1960 and the construction of the Andaman Trunk Road are the important threats faced by the Jarawa over a period of time, which finally leading to the total extinction of the Jarawa tribe. Presently, the Jarawa are in disarray, and no longer they are going to be isolated from the surrounding non-tribal populations. The story of Jarawa is one that has been repeated throughout the contemporary tribal world. A society that has lived in isolation for ages suddenly falters into this survival problem. The Jarawa belong to the Negrito stock and are medium statured with black skin and frizzy hair The hair of the children are dark reddish brown and the adults black and tightly curled. They are well built but lean, without any extra deposition of fat on their bodies. Their teeth are clean, with abrasions and very strong. The tongue is spotted with pinkish foils and the Jarawa are capable of tongue rolling. The nails are strong and well formed, projecting a little beyond the finger tips. Body hair is absent both in males and females. The head is medium sized with less occipital bulging and the cheekbones are not prominent. The dark skin color has no variation in the exposed and unexposed body parts. The eye slits are straight, the earlobes are attached with a variation of the intermediate type. Lip thickness is medium and slightly averted. The chin is oval and the nose is depressed at the root with a flagged wing. The foot is flat. The first visit to the Jarawa was in the year 1996. Participant observation methodology was observed to establish the rapport and for a collection of the scientific data and to document the ethnographic film. The researcher spent several years to document this ethnographic film. The researcher faced several field work problems which are anthropological in nature. The Jarawa are having two types of dwellings. One is permanent shelter, another one is mobile camp. A Jarawa house consists of series of leaf shelters with different sizes and shapes. The shelters are cone shaped and flat shaped, constructed by placing palm fronds over triangular or square for work of 6 to 8 poles that are positioned on the ground. Each nuclear family has its own shelter and hearth. The shelters are varying distances and randomly located with respect to one another. Fairly steep slopes are sometimes favored. The palm limbs are used for flooring purpose. Camps are located almost anywhere but are always near water source, whether a river bank, stream or sea. The Jarawa mobile camp size and duration varies with resource availability, season and inclination. The Jarawas are living in small bands consisting of 20 to 30 individuals. The Jarawa camp in a particular location till the depletion of the local resources. Then the Jarawa moves other place in the forest and establish a new camp. According to the information gathered from the Jarawas, it estimates 93 forest camps in all the three regions. The member of the Jarawas estimates 8 to 10 residential moves per year. It consistent with ethnographic observation of other more isolated South Asian hunting and gathering populations. It is observed from the field research that in Kadamtala region we have 37 mobile camps, and Baratang region we have 14 mobile camps, and in Tirur region we have 42 mobile camps for the Jarawas. The mobile camp which you are observing presently is from Foul Bay near the seashore. We can see these thatched huts temporarily made by themselves, and these huts they will be living for a period of 15 to 20 days and go for food gathering and hunting and fishing in the neighboring regions. Once the food is exhausted in that region, they will shift to the other camps. Here you can observe the skulls of wild boar. After hunting and eating, they will keep the skulls of wild boars on the top of their huts. The palm limbs you can observe here, which they will be using for their houses. In every hut, we can observe the fireplace. Here you can see the fireplace which they made to protect from themselves from the cold and wind. Here you can see the house, the Jarawa is coming out. This is one of the grinding stone which they used for sharpening of the blades. And you can see here the fireplace.
And the jaw bones hanging on
And
the...
see, it is within the household, you can see one of the important characteristics of them is the hunting and the food gathering societies.
See here the mementos, that is the skulls, head of the skulls which have been kept in their houses, the top of the houses, and it shows the mementos which they have collected and hunted in the forest. So it also signifies that leadership qualities of a particular person. Here you can see on the top of the houses arrows, bows and preserved over there, and they keep for future hunting purposes also. The bows, the arrows, you can see the bundle of arrows kept on the top of the house. Here you can see the bows, the arrows, and the arrows with the iron needles which can be fixed straight, and these arrows are used for special hunting, and with the narrow sharpened edges of the arrows. Here we can see that specifically the arrow is used for hunting the wild boars, which can be the iron nail can be detached from the main arrow, and it can be killed, pig can be killed. Here you can see the preservation of the hunting weapons, especially the arrows, the bows. You can see here the bundle of 5-6 bows, the wooden container for preservation of the honey, and also see here the torches which they will be using for the winter period, rainy seasons, for lighting purposes.
Family is the smallest social unit among the Jarawa. A family consists of male, female and their unmarried children. Adult children do not stay with their parents. Children of 10 years or above stay away from the parents in the communal hut. It took more than 2 years to know that the Jarawa are having a family system, and to identify the husband and wife, the children of a particular family, because as a band they always will be staying together. So it is very difficult to identify who is who and who is the family members. They have the concept of marriage. The selection of a mate is by the way of wrestling between the proposed boy and a girl who are going to marry newly. The boy has to win in the wrestling, then only they can live together as husband and wife. Like the other Negrito tribes, Jarawa society is also characterized by its band organization. A band consists of 20 to 30 members, moves from place to place. The Jarawa band has two types of camps, the base camp and the hunter's camp. Base camp is the headquarters of the Jarawa. The hunter camp is not permanent. They are constructed near to the water resources. There is a community hut at the base camp in addition to the number of family huts. The hunter's camp is purely temporary, lasting only for few weeks, in contrast to the longer lasting base camp. Jarawa carry the fire along with them wherever they shift their camp. Each band is having their own head who controls the band people. The membership in the family is permanent. They won't allow to marry within the band. One has to seek his partner outside his band. The members within the family are considered as brothers and sisters. We can say a band is an extended family. It is the duty of all the band members to take care of the whole people. The present document is prepared based on the three bands existing in Foul Bay and Baratang regions. Here we can see the One of the band leader is having a sharp knife, or it is called as a life-saving knife. This is the second band leader. You can look into how sharp he is looking. And this is the third band leader, who is very intelligent and very sharp in food gathering and hunting. The Jarawa get their food resources in three major resource zones, such as the forest, freshwater rivers, streams, and along the seashore. The first two zones are important. Tropical forests contain numerous useful plants and animals. The rivers provide a variety of protein foods. The Jarawa also extensively utilize the coastal resources. Most of the carbohydrates of the Jarawa diet is coming through the food gathering. They collect the yams, tubers, fruits, and honey. Different types of yams and tubers are consumed. Each is seasonal and favors particular zone. Generally, women and children gather yams, tubers, and fruits. Honey collection is the male activity. Streams, creeks provide a good amount of animal protein that the Jarawa consumes on a daily basis. They use different techniques to exploit aquatic food resources such as fish, turtle, crabs, and mollusks. For obtaining forest animals, they use a variety of methods. Wild pig is the most important for the Jarawa. It is the only wild animal consumed in the ritual activity of the Jarawa. The Jarawa uses bow and arrows to hunt the pigs. Generally, 3 to 5 men participate in pig hunting. After identifying the pig, at a time, all the men shoot the arrows on the pig. Generally, the pig collapses on the spot. They are experts in using the bow and arrow in hunting. There is no doubt the Jarawa are facing shortage of food in their forest reserve because of the following reasons. The first one is illegal poaching of wild boars, monitored lizards, and collecting of the forest food resources by the settlers and the foreigners. The second one is illegal fishing, turtle catching in the coastal areas where the Jarawa people are living. The number of incidents and attacks occurred over a period of time shows clearly that the settlers are responsible for the food shortage of the Jarawa. Many Jarawas were killed by the settlers during the encroachments when the poaching in the Jarawa territory. The Jarawa never kills a settler without any reason. In the absence of the Jarawa, the settlers used to steal their articles, honey and amber. Knowing this, the Jarawa used to attack the poachers' houses during night and kills them. The Jarawa are not aware of using sugar, salt and spices. They are also not aware of cooking the food. Here you can see that the boy is making fire to roast the food. The only technique they are aware is roasting the roots, tubers, flesh of various kind, fish on the fire. They eat raw meat also. You can see here the roasting of the food on the fire. They eat most of the time the raw food. The head of the band system is determined by the band people based on an individual how much food he is providing to the band by the way of food gathering, hunting and fishing, honey collection. It is generally determined by the based on the hunting of the wild boars. Here we can observe that a band leader is showing the number of wild boars he has hunted.
That is why it will be.
One is lying there.
Yeah, here is also, and we can see the number of lower jaws. Many apart from this,
Yeah.
you can see these skulls.
Yeah.
Hovo. They are called wild boar. Is a hovo. It may be the skill.
मारता है.
Oh, see, this also will find the same type of I have seen in among the Wongis also, preserving the skulls.
they will
Preserving the skulls. So the more or less a similar culture we are finding among the Wongis and the Jarawas. Yeah. So this is the lower jaw, which he wanted to represent.
Yeah, I want to show that it's
Yeah.
fiction like that.
Yeah.
Then he'll explain how they kill it.
Yeah. Yeah.
राजा सिंह को बुला लो 1 मिनट जरा. राजा सिंह को बोले 1 मिनट यहाँ बुलाओ.
Yeah. See, sir.
Yeah. So this is the lower jaw and the upper jaw, and he is showing how they have killed it.
The sound.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows the size also. Now he is fixing up the lower jaw and the upper jaw,
Acha.
and matching both the jaws for each and every wild boar.
Cao top of thế cơ cao.
Now he shows his trophies.
Yeah.
That
He is
has
showing.
killed so many.
He is showing how many
killed, yeah.
wild boars he has killed, and he is showing the trophies.
Yeah, he's looking for
That
the
is
lower jaw.
Lower jaw.
They were not leaving. He is explaining how the wild boars have been killed, and you can ask him questions and just try to
Yeah.
make him speak something.
Yes.
आइए डॉक्टर. हाँ आप यहाँ आ जाइए.
Crocodile.
तो चलिता
डाइट
तो चलिता टाइट है.
ए तो चले तो डाइट
टाइट है. डियर का पूछना डियर को क्या है? They will complete the pig first.
First.
या ना ओशन ने
हाँ?
ना ओशन ने
ली.
ए लिया था ओशन
इधर फायर में किया.
Oh,
वो ओशन.
ए ओशन ओशन या आवे
हाँ?
आधा आवे
हाँ.
लिया आवे
They will tie it. They will tie it. The pig will be tied there, and they will leave it under fire. So it will burn.
So out of heat only
Yeah.
it will get there is sort of a barbecue.
You can see here.
Leave.
You can see here.
चानन रहेगा ए चानन लिया था बुच्चू दिखते
ये ओशेगा.
ए लिया था ओशन ने
वो ओशन है. चने ने
चानन ने लिया था चानन ने
ये पूछू
बुच्चू ए बुच्चू
ये
टू हो बता है आनन
टू हो चने ने.
ए ता आनन ने ओशन
ओशन है.
लिया ओशन
Roast करते हैं कैसा करते हैं? How they will eat that? And see here, it signifies that they are almost similar to Wongis. See here, the forms which you can see the primitive state of conditions. This one, and you can see the three, the male, female, and civilized persons. There is a distinction among the three forms. Is the female one is different from the male. Yeah, these knots and this knots shows that the primitive state of conditions. Yeah, here you can see here the males among the men, women also. There is a much variation and differentiation among one to another. Yeah, he has a problem of teeth. Yeah, his teeth except the one left side, all other teeth are okay. Yeah, she has broken her teeth, and yes, yeah. Is the teeth are neat and clean? ये क्या है? Dida. It's called as Dida. The eyes, his physical condition is absolutely good. You see the wrinkles of the hair.
border
Border. It's called as a border. Here.
mi khoan
Big quag. Nose.
mi nhan bộ
Nyanbo. Ai.
Metepo.
Mechapo.
Mimmun.
Huh?
Mimmun.
Mimmoon. It is called as Mimmoon. And
Mipil.
Mippil. Yeah.
Mopeta.
Mopeta.
Eh.
Mopeta.
Dia.
Huh?
Mopeta.
This is
Dah ini liang mopeta.
Mopeta.
Mobana.
Mobana.
Eh.
Mobana. This one.
Mipil.
Mipi. Mipi.
Mipil.
Mipi. Yeah.
Cela office.
फोटोग्राफ ना
ओटीच ओटीच
मैं बताता हूँ कौन कौन सा नया
अच्छा।
फोन उनका
ओटीच ओटीच
ठीक है इसका फुल फोटोग्राफ ले लिया
Grup dia ni.
ग्रुप लिया इसका क्लोजअप लो इसका इसका आ जाएगा
Guys, the frontal view and the earlobe attachment, the hair structure is unique. See the hard work which they will be using for the hunting and food gathering. This hand itself shows how hard they are for fetching the food. See, and the nails, you can see the nails also. The nails also indicates, and you can closely differentiate with the nails of the plain people. The palm is almost, for all the people, it is very small in size. You can see this, the palm, and differentiate between these two palms. See, if you look into these palms, it shows the primitive society, primitive population, which most of the aboriginal populations throughout the world. He is also having a lot of wounds. It shows they are having a problem of acute problem of getting the food and shortage of food. Yeah. In replacing this material culture, we can very well see this plastic, which previously, and also you can see the fingers, which will be using. Generally, it shows the palm that they will be using it for cooking. You can see the woman also participates in the economic organization because of these bubbles. You can say she is one eye. Small injuries, which is suffering with the teaching. Here you can see the headgear for the young children. Yeah. Here you can see the wounds which he wanted to explain him. See, he is suffering with the acute problem of the wounds. They require the medicine. They are also very much interested to. They accepted the indigenous medicine from our allopathic medicine. These are all due to they are going into the bushes for collection of food there. Yeah, he is having a burning. His hand is burnt. It shows that they are using the fire for their regular usage, which may be actually burnt. It shows that they are using the fire for their regular usage, which may be at certain times. They may be sleeping on the fireside. Unknowingly, the boy might have Hippi lama me. That means it is burnt. Hippi lama me. That means he has got burnt. It may be almost these primitive societies. They will be sleeping.
With the increasing encroachment in and around the Jarawa area due to the establishment of the settlements, timber extraction and the construction of the Andaman Trunk Road that runs through the reserved forest areas, the Jarawas' hunting and gathering areas have shrunk and the number of sweetwater sources reduced, causing them a lot of hardship, particularly during the dry months. In the Middle and South Andamans, the water resources areas were occupied by the migrant settlers. As such, the Jarawa were pushed to the deep jungle where the water resources are scanty. It is observed here, you can see that the Jarawa are facing water problem for drinking. Here you can see the same water they are using for drinking, and also they are using it for bathing. Here it clearly shows they are drinking the contaminated water. during summer period, the seepage and the stream water dries up, and they will consume the contaminated water, and as such they are getting the gastrointestinal infections. So many of them die because of these drinking contaminated water. Here you can see the washing, and he is cleaning, the boy is cleaning here. The same water he is drinking. This is the only source of drinking water near Foul Bay. For 2 bands are inhabiting in this region and depending on the water resources which are available in this Foul Bay. So that is one of the major problems for the Jarawas which are faced today for them. You can see here drinking the water, same water, and also they are getting infections because of this drinking contaminated water. See here the boy is washing his buttocks, and the same water is consumed by the other boy. Jarawa material culture is simple and minimum. There are 2 broad categories of Jarawa material culture, one relating to the subsistence and the other their adornment. Bow and arrows are the most important items of Jarawa material culture. Their adornments includes the shells and threads of various kinds prepared from the bark of the fiber.
Also here you can see the 2 types of beds which almost become the different types of pearls. You can see this, the pearls, and also this one, the grass traditional one. This is the unique culture among the boys which you have here. You can see this headgear which he is wearing. This is made up of the cloth which you have given. This is an ornamental which they will be using. Among the male children we can find this thread wearing like a rocky. That is we people wearing. And the boy is very healthy. There is no problem except there is some wound here, a jewel. And this green leaf which has been weared by us, it shows symbolically that the welcoming of the outsiders. It is a unique characteristic which we are observing since last 2 days. Among the most of the married and women and men also, they will be carrying the aluminium. See, he is upright with the knife. That is, it may be the life-saving weapon for them from when the enemy comes under the threat. Plastic, which previously I have seen the net. Here also you can see the net which is nylon one which he has used for it. And also yesterday we have seen the bark made up of bark. Now it is almost people not wearing the bark over here. Waist guard, we will call it as a waist guard. No, it is not there. Most of the people will be having armlets. Especially it is maybe signifies that he is a married person. Maybe. Yeah. Grown-up males and also the younger ones. Here you can see this material culture. You take the baby. Here it is one of the axa blades. It may be from the wreck of the ship or from the visitors like us which we have supplied, and it is they are using for different ways of cutting and different purposes of economic organization. Here also we can see this material culture. The culture is screwed. It is a very fine thread which you twisted, which you find like the developed countries which we were doing. It is a twofold which has been made by this one, no? From his thread. Yeah, this is as usual which we are doing presently. And also you can see some of the plastics which we are using as replacing the traditional culture, the plastic culture. Here also we can see this, the threads long one. It indicates that he is a married person having children. It may be probably you can able to say that this threads indicates that he is a married person. This is a net. This is a net prepared from swan, which you can observe here. This is almost decaying. This thread, he is using, he has replaced the traditional one, waist belt. He is little weak compared to others. I think he is aged. Yeah, you can see his teeth, the nose. It may be 1 or 2 months age, and they will be nourishing with different. Apart from the breastfeeding, they will be giving the bananas. And you see the child. And you can see here this decorative among the women, the same way which you have find among the other females also. This wearing of jewelry. This is only the ornaments and material culture they are focusing. Among these boys, you can see the close look, the clay which he has applied, which is unique like the wongis which they are having using the same type. And physical decorated with different types of ornaments, different types of necklaces. One is mixed with the Angito, with the red cloth, with the bark mixed together, and the red cloth unique separately here, and the shells which he made one, and the threads which he has made. And you can see here this omelette, different of called as Sangapo. It is called as Sangapo. One is a cloth, this is a box made of a fine thread. Third one and fourth one is even the fourth. Topijai. Sangapo. This is called as Sangapo. Topijai, this fine thread made of box. This one it looks like a silk. Patawo. The third one is Patawo. This one? Vichai Kangapo. So this is I think every thread, and they have the different words. Am I correct? So for these threads, like we have also, they have the different wordings for each of these threads. That I am coming. Here you can see the body physical structure. He is a young boy. What do we call it, sir? Stone flake, you know. It's called and it is wearing in the finely made thread of cloth, and everyone is wearing the material culture. Behind, see here, they have collected and they have kept separately the coconuts. Each coconut they have a separate. This is made of tiger, and this is most of them is made of a cane with a well knitted with plastic also they have used. You can see the plastic wise, and this is the supporting one which they will be carrying like this. Most of the time, both men and women use a serious one. This is a fine one which you can find it among the wongis of Little Andaman also. Of course, it is more stronger than what they are using by the wongis. Here, you can see the plastic culture. Here also, I think it may be the impact of
Mlale.
the fine way of Traditionally they were using the bark thread. Now they are using the plastic one. And this is one of the types of carrying their luggage. Apart from the baskets, this is one type made up of indigenously. This is the second type. You can see another one which is sized and also it is longer. So we can see this.
dance.
There are many factors associated for the Jarawa to come out of the forest reserve areas. The Jarawa waged a war and attacked the Britishers and the Japanese. They sustained the aerial bombardment of the Japanese people. In that situation also, they never came out of the jungle to be friendly with the outsiders. It appears there are serious multiple factors associated for the coming out of the Jarawa from the jungle. They are theory of Yamne, theory of foreign intrusion, food scarcity, encroachment, water problem, loss of ethnomedicine, loss of movement of passages, theory of realization, theory of multiple factors are some of the important factors associated for the Jarawas coming out of the jungle. For details, you can go through the action plan to save the Jarawa, an anthropological perspective to conserve the endangered Stone Age aborigines, prepared by Professor T.Subramanyam Naidu and submitted to the Government of India. The new settlements in the Andaman Islands are growing at a faster rate because of the transportation and communication facilities. The growing population has made Jarawa reserve land easily accessible to illegal homesteaders. The police, who is supposed to prevent poaching, illegal use of Jarawa land, entry by unauthorized persons into Jarawa territory, the police appears to be not effective as poachers hunting for deer and wild boar on Jarawa territory are reported to regularly kill any Jarawa they encounter, including women and children. The Jarawa have no say. If encroachment is not stopped, they will die. There is a mad hunt going on. Let us grab their land of Jarawa. People think those people are just like animals. In the British period, that was a reserved area. Now, so many people encroached the Jarawa territory. The Jarawa coming to us for friendly relations. They want to hunt and have fresh drinking water. This does not mean we should clear away the forest and build huge buildings and lay the broad roads. The government should take the Jarawa into consideration to save the most vulnerable population of India. The present document is an attempt to focus on the well springs of individual behavior, large anthropological literature on the impact of modernization on tribal societies. However valuable it is for documentary purposes, has contributed relatively little toward the construction of a more adequate theory of human adaptation and cultural change. Many anthropologists pay top service to anthropological truism about the centrality of individual decisions in cultural evolution, but in fact treat individuals as helpless bystanders in the changing process. The Jarawa, a small Negrito primitive hunting, fishing and gathering tribe, are under continuous exploitation since 1856. The establishment of the penal settlement by the British in 1857 and followed by the establishment of the settlements for the convicts in 1947, the establishment of the refugee settlements from 1960 and construction of the Andaman Trunk Road are the important threats faced by the Jarawa over a period of time, which finally leading to the total extinction of the Jarawa tribe. Presently, the Jarawa are in disarray and no longer they are going to be isolated from the surrounding non-tribal populations. The story of Jarawa is one that has been repeated throughout the contemporary tribal world. A society that has lived in isolation for ages suddenly flatters into the survival problem. The need of the hour is to follow the implementation of Jawaharlal Nehru vision of tribal development. The Jarawa are extremely disciplined people, often a great deal more democratic than most others in India. Even though they have no constitution, they are able to function democratically and carry out the decisions made by elders. Jawaharlal Nehru in 1952 in his address mentions that above all they are the people who sing and dance and try to enjoy life, not the people who sit in stock exchanges, shout at each other and themselves civilized. The need of the hour is to understand the Jarawa, make them understand us and establish a bond of affection and understanding. If we cooperate, the hunter-gatherer Jarawa have every chance of surviving as hunter-gatherers and of living well provided. The economic resource zone and spiritual territory is conserved. They are provided appropriate medical care. Exploitation by the local people should be stopped. They should not be demoralized. The government should extend all the constitutional rights. There is every possibility we can save the Jarawa with the support of the people, government and conservationists joined together. A unique area of Jarawa tropical forest can be conserved while at the same time assuming the Jarawa their way of life. As an anthropologist, it is suggested that we should not try to disturb the normal conditions of life of Jarawa. It would be worthwhile putting an anthropologist on the job. They would at least be able to suggest for improvement of their living conditions.